to all of my Scorpios. So let's get into it. I got the new wall foam. Like I said, you know, like I said, this room is changing. Shout outs to all the people that came through, got readings for me. So for you Scorpios, let's just jump into it. So you have the Devil, the Tower, Wheel of Fortune, the Seven of Cups, the Magician, Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Two of Wands, and the Page of Wands. Okay. So for you Scorpios, right? The Tower does represent Scorpio. The Tower does. It does represent Scorpio. So you did show up in your own reading, right? Up front, fully. So the Devil and the Tower, the Wheel of Fortune. I'm seeing that some of you Scorpios are honestly achieving some form of liberation. and I really have to say it like this because you have three major arcana back to back to back. And what do all these cards have in common? Freedom, rebellion, and the desire to do things on their own terms, unpredictability, and breaking the wheel of power. The Devil card is about just that. It's about how it is that you have gained. I really can't say it any other way. Like, you Scorpios you changed your mindset about the way that you date, the way that you think of certain things, and you've essentially recreated your mindset entirely. The way that you see the world, the way that you see yourself, the way that, that you approach people, the confidence. And why I'm saying that is because, like I said before, the Devil represents like the newfound confidence that you have within yourself, and the blatant idea that you're not going to allow anybody to like get you caught up in the thought of, they're hanging out with you, but you're trash compared to them, but they're hanging out with you expecting some sort of handout, but you're the one that's garbage, right? And so it's this rebellion. It's this mindset of, you Scorpios have developed this mindset of, you're going to do what you want. You're looking out for yourself. And I have essentially developed that same mindset too. My mindset on the whole thing when it comes to dating is, I'm doing me. I'm looking out for myself. I'm having fun. I'm talking to people as I want. If they talk back, great. If they don't, I don't really care, because, just like you Scorpios, a lot of y'all spent a very long time kind of keeping yourselves locked in, closed off, not really willing to talk to people. And the rebellion, now a lot of you are kind of like going against what you once stood for, in the sense of, don't talk to too many people, stay to yourselves. A lot of you Scorpios are still like that, but now y'all are willing to actually talk to people. Y'all are starting to realize that a lot of the times the people try to make it seem like they're so powerful and this, that, and the third. A lot of the times people in the dating pool, like I said before, whenever it is that you see people playing in the dating pool, those are often people who really don't really have a whole lot going on for themselves, really. And a lot of you Scorpios have really taken a note to that, because I'm telling you, it very well is true, because there's no need to play and do this type of stuff and really treat people that way if you have things to do, right? Like if you have things to do, you're legitimately doing those things, right? You have a life to live. You're hanging out with your friends. You're eating. You're sleeping. You know what I mean. You're you know what I mean. You're cleaning yourself. Whatever the situation is, but it's like to take a time out of a person's day. That requires a lot of time thinking about what the person is gonna do that you won't like, and thinking of a way to counter that or get over that problem so that you can get your way. That's a lot of time scheming. That's a lot of time when you really think about it, thinking about, oh, what are they gonna do and say? What am I gonna do and say if they do and say this? Oh, okay, this, that, and the third. It's too much time doing that. So a lot of you Scorpios started to realize, like, yo, like if the person is playing, and if they're the ones that's out here trying to make it seem like they so fly and they so this and they got that, 9 chances out of 10 they're not really that at all. The Tower and the Wheel of Fortune now represents, like I said, unpredictability and freedom, because the unpredictability, which is the Tower, which would be Scorpio, right? Which would be you Scorpios looking at it from that perspective, and then the delusion of that perspective that those people who were doing that type of stuff, as you were getting to know them, came crashing down. And the Wheel of Fortune is what? The Wheel of Fortune is breaking the wheel of power. What do I mean when I say the wheel of power? Realizing that how the wheel turns is that who really has power in the world? The reality of the situation is everybody has power in the world. It's just a matter of realizing the situation, realizing that you do have power, and taking action, and how you plan on exercising that power. So the thing is that the Seven of Cups and the Magician right here, right, represents understanding that you always have options. You know, whenever it is that somebody wants to act like they're so much better than you and it becomes a competition, and it's not, I've said this before, it's not a competition in that sense. It's not. A lot of people will have you out here thinking that you're in some form of competition, because only a limited supply of people is going to get the best people out there, and you gotta throw the next person down and do all that type of stuff so you can get the best person possible. What consists of the best people possible? If a person truly has character, there's no way they're going to accept somebody knowing that they lied and they cheated and they did all of that type of stuff to get to them. They're going to look at this and they're going to be like, why would I hang out with you? Why? Because you've corrupted yourself getting to me. So why would I want to hang out with you? See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean when I say it's not a competition, but it is, meaning that it's not a competition versus the person next to you. It's not. And the most delusional people think of it as that. And you could really observe how delusional they are. You know? And why I'm saying that in the first place is because you could really observe this. You know, it's a competition with yourself. It's a competition to see and be able to understand. Did you have this mindset last year? Did you have this mindset 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 6 years ago, right? And you Scorpio started to really see that. You realize you still have options, right? The Magician now represents, and this is where the power comes from. It's because the level of understanding of, hey, if somebody if somebody that you're trying to get to know treats you with disrespect, you don't have to talk to them. You could talk to somebody else. You could just be like, oh, okay, all right, okay, yeah, because you're cool. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, cool. Let me go talk to somebody else. And all that power that they thought that they had what happens to that power now if you're talking to somebody else? They have to go interact with somebody new now because they don't have your attention. And what happens if and when that other person does the same thing and is like, I ain't got to hang out with you. I'll talk to somebody else. Because they do that with everybody. The only person that they don't do that to is a person that they think that, they can have as some sort of trophy. They won't outwardly do that to them because it's about being the power couple out in public type of stuff. But ultimately, those people that they treat as trophies and they hold us in such high regard, they usually end up after a certain amount of time not even being able to get along with them. So you Scorpios see that, and the mentality of the way that you date has changed. The Knight of Pentacles represents this being a situation for you where, and so what happens next? Your self-worth goes up. Okay? Your self-worth goes up. Seven of Swords, if you try to speak this, like I said, speaking to somebody, if they're acting like they're too fancy for you, right? You ain't got to hang out with them. You'll just leave them alone. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. Because you'll start to see the type of issues and financial problems that they potentially have coming along with, right? They'll tell you this, that, the third. You'll find it out, this, that, the third, right? Maybe they do have a lot of financial support, Maybe they do have finances, stuff like this. But at the same time, the way that they treat people is like trash. Maybe they're not as pretty as they try to make it seem like. The Two of Wands and the Page of Wands. And this is when they will want to come back. Because they know that you will see them for who and what they are. And they need help just as much as they're trying to make it seem like they don't. That's another nuance to it. That's another nuance to it that I never talked about up until now. That the people who are flaunting and acting like they're all that and 10 bags of chips actually need the other person's help to stop having that type of mentality. Yeah. Because they're caught up in the mentality themselves of people, of some people telling them that they so fly and deluding them and telling them whatever it is that they want to hear. They run with that. And they really need your help, truth be told. That the same people that they make it seem like it's trash, in this case, you Scorpios, is the same people that they actually really need to develop. And they know it. But they don't like that. They don't like that. So that's where the roasting, and that's where the shucking and jiving, and that's where the disrespect, and that's where the delusional the delusions come from. It's because of that. Now let's clarify the Two of Wands. So you have King of Swords, the Temperance, right? Liberation, Knight of Wands, and the Sun card. So the King of Swords is understanding, right? Figuring it out, understanding that, hey, you don't have to hang out with these people. You never did. It's just that you kept going after them because you thought that, things could only be one way. But then when you started to realize, things don't have to be one way. Then what happened? The Temperance. This is when you're going to develop the reputation of being what? Because when you begin to date, you won't have to deal with the ideology of, or the idea of, oh, well, I got you wrapped around my finger, Scorpio. You will come from the position of you're hanging out with them because you want to, and that, you know, they should appreciate you just like you should appreciate them. And if they don't appreciate you, who cares? You could go off and hang out with somebody else. But see, that is a real free mindset, because truth be told, you don't need, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need them to be happy if that's how they want to move. You don't need your job if that's how it is that they want to move. You could start your own business. You really could. Well, what's that? But, you know, 90% of the United States is the profit actually is created by businesses, people who own their own businesses. 90%. It's not even large corporations as you think. But why is it that most people think, well, you got to go out and work? It's because people want to. It comes down to a matter of free will. Free will does exist, right? So the Knight of Wands and the Sun represents this being a situation for you where you understand that some people are going to come in like this, trying to make it seem as if there's only one way that it could work. But the Sun, you've liberated yourself. That's never going to work. You Scorpios have chosen. You're never going to go back to the mentality of people underestimate, you know what I mean? Like people downplaying your value and making it seem like, you know, this, that, the third, and in your face, right? Or you finding out about it, or in your face, you seeing it, you watching that, and you being like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about it. You Scorpios are gonna not hang out with these people anymore, and you're gonna let them feel that coldness, whether it's relationships, but mostly it is in relationships, but whether it's in friendships, whether it's in family ties, you're going to let them feel the coldness of what it feels like when they don't have you in their life anymore. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Trying to make this YouTube channel go to 10,000 by the end of June 2023. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop these videos. Peace.